He is the youngest that you can do in an international competition. He is really, really fast, but he doesn't look it. But then you look up and you're like, wow, he just won the class.
Welcome back to our lovely podcast, Winds of Change. My name is Janet Bava, and today I am so excited because we are going to be talking about Windstar like we always do, but not Windstar the cruise line, Windstar the horse. And so many of you have asked the question, why a horse and what does that have to do with cruising? Well, I cannot talk about Windstar the horse unless I have someone very, very special who is joining us here today. Welcome, Kelli Cruciotti Vanderveen.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and get to share Windstar with everybody. And like you said, not just the cruise line, but to give everyone a little insight into Windstar the horse.
Yes, Kelli. And so before we talk about Windstar the horse, can you tell us a little bit about, for all of our viewers listening in, your career has been pretty stellar and you've been training a long time before you actually started to train Windstar. And so can you give us a little bit of information about, you, Serenity Farms, and also how did you get into horse jumping?
So I was very, very fortunate that my mother, Cindy, has been and is a trainer for the last 40 plus years. So I got to grow up being the kid that lived in the barn. Ever since I can remember, I've been in the barn riding ponies, starting my career riding horses. And it's something that I knew I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I just love not just the competition aspect of it, but the animals themselves are so intelligent and so rewarding to work with. So it was something that I knew I wanted to make a career out of since a very young age. And I've been very fortunate to get to ride some really incredible horses that have taken me everywhere around the world to get to compete. So when we got the opportunity to train Windstar, and I am fortunate enough to be his rider, it's really giving me such excitement for the future and what that holds because he is such a phenomenal horse.
Amazing. And so let's go back in time a little bit. I know before Windstar arrived to Serenity Farms, you have done a lot of competition, like you mentioned, all over the world, and you've represented Team USA quite some time. And so tell us about the equestrian world and, horse jumping, because I mean, it's a phenomenal sport and not a lot of people follow it, but those who do, they're so passionate about, everything that entails not only for the riders, right? But like you said, the horses themselves, there's a lot of work that goes into horse jumping. So can you tell us a little bit about the sport first, and then we can go into Windstar?
Sure. Yeah. So the world of show jumping is, like you said, not as mainstream as we would like it to be. It is an Olympic sport.
Yes.
We send a team every 4 years. We have special events that we can represent our country, such as the Olympic Games, World Equestrian Games, World Cup finals. But it is definitely a little bit of a specialized sport.
Yes.
It takes many, many years of hard work and dedication, and you're not just focusing on yourself. The horse is, 50% of your partner. So that really makes a huge difference in the horse that you're riding. And that allows you to compete at a higher level depending on the horse that you have. And obviously, every rider's goal is, the best of the sport is the Olympic Games, is World Cup finals, and to be able to represent your country. I think that if people didn't know anything about show jumping, the small version of it is that we jump really big jumps. And the main object is to not hit any of them down and go as fast as you can.
And
So
not
if you
get
know
hurt.
nothing about show jumping, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you stay safe. But if you know nothing about this sport, that's kind of the Reader's Digest version, the really short. Obviously, there's so much more to it than that. But we love to encourage people that have never experienced the sport to come and watch and see what it's all about. Just like you said, it's so much of the relationship of the horse and the rider together, not just a phenomenal horse or a phenomenal rider.
Right.
It's a true team sport.
I love that. And, I think that's exactly how I now want to connect Windstar, because you said it right. I think Windstar, the brand, as a cruise brand, it's not like if we're a household name, like the big cruise lines. We're a cruise line where very few know about us, but those that do are very passionate about small ship cruising, our sailboats, our yacht ships. And so for us, when I remember the day clearly, I was in the Miami office and Chris came and his eyes were wide open and he was just so excited. He had a smile from ear to ear and he came over and he said, "Guess what?" And yes, guess what? Another day, another surprise. And he said, "We're getting a horse." I'm like, "What do you mean we're getting a horse?" "Yes." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I said, "Okay, but what is the horse?" And he's like, "And guess what the horse's name is going to be?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Windstar." I still didn't get it. And so can you tell us a little bit about how this all came about? Because I know you know more of the back history than I do. And I think this is a really great story that will then tie into how do you raise a champ in the world of horse jumping?
Sure. Some people much smarter than I put their heads together and really came up with this groundbreaking idea of why not partner, like you said, a up and coming horse with a brand that just is exudes excellence and luxury, and why not morph the two together to kind of give each other a glimpse into a different world, and while still getting to pursue, big
Yeah.
dreams, big goals. So when I was told about the opportunity, I couldn't be more excited because, like I said, it's so important for us as riders to have support, not just from individual people, but companies and corporations and brands. It's a huge part of what we do. So to be able to align ourselves with a company like Windstar Cruises, it was just a dream come true, because having you guys as not just a partner, but as a team and as a family, it makes all the difference in the journey that we're going on. And it was definitely, I couldn't believe it at first. Took a few days to sink in that it was really real. And then getting to meet all of you guys when you came out to christen Windstar the horse. And that was just really, really special, because I think it was a glimpse into what is to come in the future.
Yes, and the excitement was the same around the office. I know we have some equestrian horse owners actually in the office, and they were thrilled. But I think that was just one or two of them. And then the majority of them for us, exactly, we are a brand that we have big dreams and big aspirations, and we're growing, or we're introducing new ships into the fleet. And so we really want to make a mark in the small ship cruise world, in the travel industry. And for us, it was exactly right. We were just so excited to learn about the equestrian world. And so for those of you listening in, if you're really attuned with the equestrian world, I'm sure you're loving the connectivity of Windstar with this in this new chapter with Windstar the horse. But for those of you who don't, I welcome you all to join us along in this journey and follow Windstar.eq on Instagram, and also follow Kelli Cruciotti Vanderveen on Instagram, because I have learned so much. I get so excited, Kelli, when you post pictures about Windstar. You are competing right now with Windstar. So let's talk now about Windstar the horse. Tell us a little bit about where he is from, how old he is, and, what has he been up to lately?
So, Windsor the horse is an 8-year-old stallion. He was born in Germany originally, and then was basically raised in France by a good friend of mine who was originally who told me about Windstar. And then also a very good friend of ours, Emil Hendricks, organized us for to go see him, because that's a big part of,
Yeah.
finding these horses is the connections that you have, and you only know the feeling you have on them when you go and try them. So we flew to France, tried him, and I wouldn't say it was an instant connection. I knew I really liked him, but he was definitely a little bit, he was like, "You're not my normal person. Who are you?" It took us a couple months and we took our time. 8 years old for a show jumping horse is still very, very young. So we took our time, didn't push him too much, really got to learn what he liked, what he didn't like. And me as a rider, I had to kind of transfer my skills a little bit, in the sense of, okay, maybe this is how I've done it with other horses, but
Right.
he's very, very different. So I had to kind of work with him. And now I feel like the last few months, especially the last month, he has really started to trust me. And you can see it. I mean, for him to already have won 2 international classes as an 8-year-old is pretty impressive. So I think hopefully we're just going to keep building on from there. We're actually, right after I finish this, we're getting in the car and we're driving to Ocala to do 2 weeks of competition there. So I'm excited, and hopefully we get to pick up where we left off in Kentucky.
Amazing. Yes. And I will say that it sounds like Windstar is living up to his name because he seems to be 180 degrees from ordinary. He's definitely not your ordinary horse. And I know he's really making you work hard to build on that relationship. But it seems like if you know what, your patience and your professionalism paid off because like you just mentioned, I know you quickly said that, but he has already won. He commenced competing, I think it was 2 months ago, you said? And he's
Two
been
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, he just began competing. I remember he did some trials 2 months ago. I remember seeing those posts. And then 2 weeks ago, he's actually began competing and has already won 2 medals.
Yes, so he in the winter circuit from January to March, I'll call it.
Yeah.
He was competing, but not at the international level. So these were more like training rounds, trying to get the buttons organized, what gears do I have? And then starting in May, he was competing and started competing in his first CSI two-star, which is a international competition sanctioned by FEI, which is our
Hmm.
international organization. And that's reserved for horses that are aspiring to be, the top of the sport, and it goes up in star levels. So he does the two-star competition, which is geared for horses his age, so 8 years
Yes.
old, learning the ropes. But it's still very, very difficult. These are not small classes he's going in. There's 40 or 50 people competing in these, and horses that are much, much more experienced. So these you can have any age or any
Oh, wow.
experience level horse. So he for sure the youngest horse in that division. I'm sure there's other 8-year-olds, but he is the youngest that you can do in an international competition. So, like you said, for him to go out and immediately win 2 classes, is definitely encouraging, and he's also really deceptive because when you watch him as a horse, he is really, really fast, but he doesn't look it. He looks
Okay.
very smooth and it's pretty, but then you look up and you're like, "Wow, he just won the class." So it's a really cool feeling to be his rider because I think I haven't even tapped into half of what he has,
Oh,
and
wow.
already you're seeing, how special he is.
Oh my goodness, I love that. You just gave me goosebumps talking about Windstar because to us, I think we've built this affection from, a distance because we did meet him during the christening event and that was just so powerful just to see him in person. And I do encourage everyone listening in. We will be posting the links, right, Madeline, on social media and the captions on how to follow Kelli and Windstar, but also the competitions that he has coming up. So tell me about the future and what does the future hold for you and Windstar?
I definitely have big dreams and high hopes for him. I think a really important part in a rider's career is managing not just their own career, but their horse's career. So
Hmm.
my job as his rider isn't just riding him, but it's also managing him and getting him the experience he needs, but not over jumping him and not
Right.
overusing him because you want him to enjoy his job. You want him to love what he does. And if he does too much too fast, then you get a horse that maybe doesn't enjoy what they do as much. So, with him, it's hard because everything comes so easy to him. I mean, the first meter 45 class that he jumped, he won. The first Grand Prix he did, he won. So then you have to think, okay, like just take your time because naturally when you succeed at something, you think, all right, let's just go bigger, let's
Yeah.
go faster, let's do more. That's just how we are as people, which isn't a bad thing in moderation. But so now my job is to kind of plan his schedule where he has easy weeks and then he has weeks where he gets to really maybe push it a little bit. My goal is to have him peak at the right horse shows at the right time for his age. So each
Wow.
year that he gets a little bit older, I'll be wanting to see a little bit more for him and step up even more in level. And the hopes are big for him. I hope that as a 9 and 10-year-old horse, he's doing 5-star competitions and being maybe considered for some teams to represent the US. And but it's really important to lay that foundation now
Yeah.
that he's young, that he gets the necessary miles without overdoing it.
Amazing. And do you think Windstar the horse will make it to the largest stage probably in the world, which would be the Olympics that are scheduled for summer 2028, I believe?
Yep. Yep, in Los Angeles. I mean, I sure hope so. That's a long road from here to there, but I have really, really high hopes for him. He gives me no indication that it's not something he couldn't do. Obviously, there's a lot of things from here to there that
Yes.
we need to see him do, because it is a long road, and it all depends on a lot of things. But right now, I think the sky's the limit for him.
Amazing. And the sky is the limit for you, Kelli. The sky is the limit for Windstar. We feel every day. And we're just so excited to partner with you, all of our friends at Serenity Farms. You all have been spectacular in introducing and welcoming us to the world of equestrian and horse jumping. It has been an honor to learn about, the amount of hard work, dedication, and how many people it takes to make this sport successful and to keep everyone safe. Like you said, we all have to enjoy. We're all passionate about what we do, but we always have to ensure that we enjoy what we do and that it doesn't become so hard that we just stop enjoying it. And so I think, that really resonated with me because that's exactly how I personally feel about Windstar, the cruise line. We're all working so hard to deliver the best guest experience for our guests. And you see our crew, which is amazing. But we do give them the breaks that they need, and we try and also take the breaks that we need to ensure that our mental state is in a good place so that we can continue to give all to the world. And so thank you, Kelli, so much. Now, I know you haven't sailed with us, and we've kind of pitched some ideas for you to come and sail with us. And so from all the itineraries, this is something that I ask all of our guests on our podcast. From all the itineraries that you've heard about Windstar, which ones are you most excited to go and, take a week off and go and explore the world with Windstar, the cruise line?
The cruise line. I would have to say I would be the most excited maybe to go on the Alaska trip.
Mm,
I that looks really, really interesting. It's definitely a place that I've never been, through the horses. There's a lot of places that the horses bring us, but Alaska's definitely not one of
okay.
them. So that would be something really, I think, definitely a bucket list experience to be able to see, and obviously to see your world through what we've learned about you guys has been really, really special. So it would be cool to take the riding boots off for a week,
Yeah.
put on some normal clothes, get to see your guys's version of show jumping in the Windstar Cruises community. It would be an honor, and hopefully it's not too long until we get to do that.
Well, we will have to wait until the Star Seeker, a new ship, arrives in December 2025. And she will then sail through the Caribbean to Alaska next year. So you do have a few months. The Star Seeker will be, you have a few months to plan. So I do ask for you to look at your calendar and just, look at what week between May 2026 and August 2026 you can come and join us, because all of us at Windstar Cruises cannot wait to welcome you and your family on board very, very soon. And you talked about animals and wildlife and all of that. And I think there's no better place to go and see a beautiful wildlife spectacle than Alaska. So I'm right behind you. I cannot wait to do that experience.
I think it's gonna be really special.
Yes, it really will. Anything last messages? I know we're going to try and put as much information in the caption as possible, because this is definitely not going to be the last time that you'll be hearing from Kelli or Windstar the horse. And we'll be very much in tune with all the competitions coming up. And I hope all of you can start following, their journey, because it's quite exciting to see them, when they do compete. Not only Windstar, but all his friends, right, at Serenity Farms compete. And I think it's just an exciting, sport that we hope that more and more of you all will be able to follow along. And it's a great community to be part of. So any parting words for you, Kelli?
I would just say I'm extremely grateful for you guys and all that you've done for us and all that you continue to do. And I hope that anybody watching really takes the time to, dive into show jumping and seeing what it's all about, and come watch Windstar. And so many of these shows that we get to go to are we're so fortunate that they're in amazing places, from Miami Beach to Traverse City, Michigan, and everywhere in between. So come watch. Normally, administration is free. You can come and watch the biggest classes, and it's really it's something you have to see in person, because these horses are more than horses. They're true athletes, and what we ask them to do is abnormal. And to see them competing in the flesh, I think is something that you'll really love watching, and I think you'll fall in love with it. So I am so grateful for you guys to continue to support us and, you know, have people learn about our sport. And I hope that we can continue to learn more about Windstar Cruises as well. So thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you, because one word that comes to mind when I think about Kelli Cruciotti Vanderveen is fierce. You are absolutely fierce. When I see those videos of you jumping, I mean, yes, Windstar and all the horses are absolutely spectacular and it just takes your breath away. But to see you and command this horse and do it in such an elegant way, I think you're going to inspire a lot of future generations to take up on show jumping. So congratulations, Kelli, to everything you and your mother and everyone at Serenity Farms is doing, because to me, I think you're inspiring the future generation to go and compete and take on this incredible sport. And so thank you very much for your partnership and for joining us here today. And I know you're going to have a very busy day today. It's early morning for you. And so I don't want to take more time from you. Thank you again, Kelli, and I cannot wait to welcome you back.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to be back.
Bye-bye.